There have been suggestions that woke culture has infiltrated the construction industry's recruitment process, that people are being employed to tick ethnic, gender, or sexual orientation boxes rather than because they're the best candidate, that being a straight white male is actually seen as a disadvantage by some employers and recruiters. Now, this topic was prompted by two messages from friends and audience members. Before we look at the individual stories, let me state for the record that I am a vocal advocate for women in construction. I'm also a firm believer that people should be employed based on their skills, experience, and suitability for the job in question, not on their gender, sexual preference, or skin colour. Just want to make that absolutely clear. Here is the first of the two stories in what I shall call a tale of two pities. I hope you see what I did there. The first message reads: a very good friend of mine applied for a trainee position with a company that shall remain nameless. He's in his late 30s, from a farming background and Romanian, but he's been in the UK for 16 to 17 years, speaks better English than most English people, and has one of the best work ethics I know. Yet it's taken the unnamed company over 9 months to reply to him for the training programme. I know he was one of the first to submit his CV because I'd heard about the position before it was advertised. The company has taken on many females for the same position that he applied for, so could this be a case of them trying to be woke to tick some boxes for HS2? Is he too old for the training program at 30 years old? Is it a case of if you're a straight white male, you are put to the bottom of the list nowadays? Okay, before we attempt to address and unpick that one, let me balance things out just slightly with a second story from another one of our viewers. Their message reads: I'm really not surprised so many youngsters do nothing with their lives. I'm angry, upset, and downright furious at the same time. I have a lad who lives opposite me called Mason. I've helped Mason write a CV and to apply for apprenticeships. He's gone from 300 applicants down to the final two with a huge plant dealership, and ultimately he missed out. Pretty hard luck. They then offered him a job in the yard cleaning plant with a view to fast-track an apprenticeship next year because he impressed them so much. They haven't contacted him in 8 weeks. He's emailing them and calling them with no response. Now, not that this should be in any way important whatsoever, it's probably worth noting that Mason, the protagonist of our second story, is of mixed race. Now, the two tales I've just shared are completely unconnected, and I don't believe that one balances out the other. That just because a mixed race lad is struggling to get a start in the business automatically disproves any suggestion of woke culture. And I also don't believe that the two individuals and specific stories constitute a trend or a pattern of any kind. But we are constantly being told that the industry is suffering from a skill shortage, that we need to find another 50,000 people each year for the next decade to meet workload demands, that we need to encourage young people into the sector. And yet here we have two young people, one a bit younger than the other, and both are being given the runaround by an industry that claims to be desperate for workers. So what's going on? Are you better off being female and ideally from an ethnic minority background? Were these two individuals just anomalies? And just how desperate is the industry for workers when it can keep two willing workers waiting in the wings?